All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and today we have one of the newest variants of the Seiko Alpinist, this being the SBDC087. Got this watch from Nomon Watches, guys. Again, incredible shipping from Singapore. This watch got to my house in California in like 4 days total. It always blows me away, and when you pick up a watch from them, it is free DHL shipped into the United States, so that's a pretty neat deal. So really cool watch, and I know that, the Seiko Alpinist, guys, to be honest with you, it's been kind of a fun little Seiko roller coaster ride like they do with so many models we hear about then being discontinued. And I don't necessarily blame Seiko. I do think they put the feelers out there, maybe, but we really get into it when something's going to happen like that with a Seiko watch. But we know that, they were going to be discontinued. I had a SARB 017, which I really liked to watch, the green dial original variant. They also made the cream white dial and the black dial. Forgive me for not knowing all the reference numbers on these. There's been quite a few, guys. But the newest offerings, of course, they didn't go away. They're still, at least the green dial out there, the SARB 017, they're still pretty available out there from what I can tell. But they are making a whole new lineup in this SBDC series, which I should say, which is running the 6R35 movement as compared to the 6R15. Biggest difference between those two movements is the power reserve. The 6R35 has a 70-hour power reserve versus the 6R15, which stands at 50 hours of power reserve. I think it's a great power reserve with the 6R15. It's had an amazing, 14-year run in a number of different watches from Seiko. Actually, I think it's been 15 years now, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that movement was developed in 2005 is what I seem to remember, but I may be off. But it's had a great run, but I do think it's neat that with the big boys going up to these 70-hour power reserves and whatnot, that Seiko is stepping up, and with the 6R35, they're doing the same thing. So this is running the 6R35 movement. This is the SBDC 087, like I said, guys. So really cool. This one is known as the Shark's Tooth model. The reason being is the applied indices on the watch in the shape they're applied, they're polished, and in the shape what many people say of shark's teeth. So I think that's a pretty neat variant. I think this, to be honest with you, this variant, especially on the bracelet here, is a really versatile watch compared to the SARB 017 with the green dial. It's just going to fit in a lot more situations. The applied indices on the watch, the polished applied indices like that, they really pop and they look nice. It almost gives the watch a dressy feel, especially with the Seiko polishing on the watch, but it's just a great looking piece. Now let me get into the dimensions real quick. These come in at 39.5 millimeters from side to side. Now that doesn't include the crown. If you want to include the crown, you come in at 41 millimeters, which is still a very nice compact watch. We'll get this watch on my 7-inch wrist here in a minute. You have 48 millimeter lugs from top to bottom, and the thickness on the watch comes in at 13.2 millimeters. I do not believe that includes the Cyclops on the crystal. You have a 20 millimeter lug opening here. This watch came on the bracelet. I did want one on a bracelet. I wanted to try it out. I thought, like many other watches, why not just get it on a bracelet? And then I can play with straps and leather as I go along. So just your typical SARB, or I should say your Alpinist style here. You have the 4 o'clock bezel. This is actually operating, and I'm going to bring it up here a little close if you guys aren't familiar. This is operating this internal bezel, which, if you guys know, you can use a watch to find out your true north. I'm not going to get into that here, but once you find that out, you can use this internal bezel to set that and then have your watch at the correct time as you want it to be, and then you can use your direction. So it was designed as a mountaineering or orienteering watch. That was kind of the background behind the Seiko Alpinist. They started the Alpinist line in 1961, and that was the whole market for the watch, was Japanese mountaineering and mountain men that were really into spending either their work or their leisure time in the mountains doing hard activities, and they needed a watch that they could use for orienteering purposes, and also that was just tough and could get the job done. Sapphire crystals are now being used on these watches, which makes it a really durable watch. 200 meters of water resistance. The 3 o'clock crown is a screw-down crown, and the 6R35 movement is hackable and hand-winding. The beat rate on this movement is 21,600 vibrations per hour, so it's still at that lower beat rate, which keeps it a nice, long-life, serviceable movement. As you'd find on all Seiko watches, the polishing on the case is incredible. I mean, it really blows me away. I mean, you could call this the Seiko Explorer. It really gives off that feeling of luxury on the wrist. The Seiko polishing, and I know this isn't the Zaratsu. This is a sub $1,000 watch. This is a sub $800 watch, sub $700 watch, honestly, where I got it from Nomon. And the polishing is spectacular. It's absolutely superb. You don't even see this on some of the bigger brands, to be honest with you, polishing done this nicely. The black dial on this watch, again, I think makes it extremely versatile. The Seiko is applied up there just below the 12 o'clock. You do get, and I think this is going to be a tough one for some people, is the Prospex logo there above the 6 o'clock position. I personally, and I know guys, I think it'd be cleaner without the Prospex logo, but these are a sports watch in the Prospex lineup, so they've got the label on there. The classic automatic writing down there in the 20 bars letting you know that this is a 200-meter waterproof watch. Now, the bracelet on the watch was very easy to adjust. These are split pins, so it was actually very, very simple. No pin and collar system. It's a simple one-push clasp assembly here. Nice machined bars on the watch. So you do have that upgrade to the bracelet, and you have solid in links on it. See-through caseback, or display caseback, I should say, lets you see that newest of the 6R movements, a 6R35 movement in there, and it's in its glory. Just a great looking watch. Lets you know that this watch is 200 meters water resistance here on the back. It does say on the back on this one that is made in Japan, so obviously a JDM reference on this watch, but just a really, really great looking watch overall. Let's go ahead and pause it, get this watch on my 7-inch wrist, and guys, be sure to stick around for that Seiko Lume shot. All right, so this 39.5 millimeter case fits my wrist perfectly well. Forgive the bandage, guys. I cut my arm going through some brush the other day, and I didn't want to show you guys the cut. Kind of might gross some people out, but the watch fits beautiful on the wrist. This bracelet is comfortable. I probably need to size it a little bit differently. The clasp is a little off center, but it fits really well. I do think that what I'm going to do one of these days here coming up is we're going to do a strap video with this watch, because I think we got a strap monster right here. I mean, I already put it on a Hirsch leather sports strap with red stitching, and it looked incredible. Actually, if you watch my watch roll video that I did for the Mirage Travel Luxury, or what? Yeah, the watch roll I just did, I actually showed this watch on that leather strap, and it looks great. So let's dim the lights and check out the Seiko Lume. All right, guys, let's hit it with light. You can see those cathedral hands on it are already glowing. So I didn't talk a whole lot about the Cyclops, guys. It's there. It works really, really well. You know, I'm over 50 years old, so having that really helps me out. What do I say? It's Seiko Lume. You know, they have really small lume plots, you know, all the way around the dial at the indices, but I do wish that they had a little bit different mark up here at the 12 o'clock position. They're all kind of the same. So, but other than that, it's incredible. It's Seiko Lume. The watch is really just beautiful. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring up the lights here again. Just a good looking watch. So guys, I got this one from Nomon Watches. Oh man, I can't reach the other light here. There we go. I got this one from Nomon Watches. Like I said, shipped to the US. It took like 4 days to get to California, but really, really beautiful watches. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me, taking a look at the SBDC087, one of the newest Alpinists in their lineup. So like the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.